All right, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news. Too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen. Another one is
John Berwick. A third one is
Kyle Bridger. And I will say, I can't believe we're doing this again, but I'm going to be the Joe Exotic to John's Howard Baskin to Dave's Carole Baskins. But we're doing it. We're doing it again because I'm pretty sure I probably did this before.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, welcome to the podcast. I'm glad everyone could join us live. All three hosts were ready to go at the proper time. Nice work. Nice
barely
work.
live.
But here we are on a Monday night now. We're doing Monday night Twitch streams, at least for the foreseeable future. We got a lot to talk about. We got Joe versus Carole, as Kyle alluded to. We have the Dropout. We have some quick checks. And we have this first segment. John, what is it?
In and out points.
In or the out. In or the out. In, out.
Yes, it is in and out points. All right, I got a couple of them for you this week. Let's start off with The Batman. It was a big weekend for the Robert Pattinson film. It scored an opening weekend of 128.5 million domestic, with a total of nearly 250 million worldwide. And I have to ask, this big box office haul, is it because of something called variable ticket prices? All right, I don't know if you guys saw this here, but AMC announced a pilot program that they tested out in the US for the Batman, using what they call variable pricing. Quote, currently, our prices for the Batman are slightly higher than the prices we are charging for other movies playing in the same theaters at the same time. Okay, here.
So my question on this, right, is are they achieving this by raising the prices for Batman or lowering the prices for everything else? Because if they're lowering prices for everything else, cool beans, dude. I'll take that. Are they raising prices for Batman?
You know the answer to this one.
Yeah.
Shove freaking Batarang where the sun don't shine, man.
Of course, they're raising prices. Looks like in New York City, for example, it's nearly $19 a ticket for the Batman. Other films are $18, the $17.99 for the other releases.
The fact that you're saying like the regular $18 is so much money. It's insane, dude. Yeah. But like, did they give a reason why they're doing this variable pricing, or is it
money
just for the stockholders? Is it so? It's not for the consumers; it's for the stockholders.
Oh, I think so. I think it's definitely theater's been hurting for the last 2 years. Spider-Man helped. I mean, most of the films haven't really been collecting money. They saw Batman coming. They're like, okay, this is gonna make money. Let's those people that really want to see this film in theaters charge a little extra. And
that's crazy, man. They're going to push people even more away from the theaters. I mean, it's only $1 or $2, but
it adds up.
Geez, yeah, if the idea is out there, it's more the idea of it that's a hindrance. Like if I'm planning to go to the movies, I probably would have gone anyways. But if I am like on the fence about it, I'm not going to be like, yeah, let me go just randomly watch a $19, $20 movie. That's just not going to do it.
Yeah. And it's like, well, where does it stop? It's just $1 now, but it's $20, $21.
Yeah.
Like the next Avengers, whatever, Spider-Man 4, whatever it is, it's going to be $25. It's like at the very least, as John was saying, then it should theoretically work in reverse. If you have a film, an indie film, a film that's smaller budget, make it a little cheaper to go to the movies, and maybe people will go see those films that, I'll just wait for it on VOD. I'll wait for it to be on HBO Max. Well, no, if it's a little cheaper, they may actually come to the theater. That's $5 is better than $0.
And don't most places make the ticket sales, like the stuff off of concessions anyway? So lowering the prices, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like it almost doesn't matter to them what the price is because they're not making the majority of their money off of it. Like I don't know. It just seems like every way it's just made to screw over people.
You know what I think is next? I think it's going to be like concert seating, where it's like you're going to have to pay for the seat,
the massage
like
chair.
the cost of the. Well, I think even the cost of the ticket is going to cost more if you want a certain location.
Yeah, the center seat, but
center seat will be 25 and the outer seats will be 18 or whatever.
And front row where you have your neck, getting stiff is going to be, maybe $18 for that one. A little cheaper than the $20. Yeah. It's possible. It's certainly possible. We'll have to wait and see. This is just a test program, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see it quite a few more times, especially leading into the summer box office. We have another one, though, kind of related to Batman. One soon-to-be father will probably pay even more than $18.99 to see this film first thing because, well, a user on Reddit posted in the infamous Am I the A-hole subreddit asking if she is the a-hole for being mad at her husband for choosing the film The Batman over seeing the birth of his child, since both were supposed to happen on the same day.
No.
So, Kyle, I'll ask you, is she the a-hole in this one?
No. Oh, man, this is a bad look, dude. Why would you do this? Why would you do that?
Spoilers. You can't miss those spoilers. Sure. You can have a kid any old day, but the Batman, this is the only Batman film that will ever come out in the next 30 years. Mark my words. There won't be another reboot or sequel. You got to make sure you watch this one now.
I know. It's just so absurd. I mean, I would imagine having a child is so stressful that you could go 24, 48, 72 hours without even seeing a spoiler because you're just so invested in all the time.
Not even looking at the internet. You're trying to take care of a kid.
I know. Just wild. If that's the reason.
Yeah. Like I just took a vacation. I deleted Twitter and Facebook off my phone. I didn't know a single thing that was going on. It was marvelous. Do the same thing, dude. Just can you stay off the internet for an afternoon to see the birth of your child and then go to the theater? But
also, we're talking about a movie over a living thing. Your own living thing.
Your own creation.
Your own DNA. Let's see. She posted in the subreddit here, quote, he says it is important to see the movie the first day because of spoilers, and that even if I end up having the baby that day while he is watching the movie, at worst, he would arrive a few hours late, and it's not such a big deal. He says, I am being irrational and emotional because I'm pregnant. I am upset because I feel deprioritized by him.
Not how it works. That's 100% not how it works. Like,
this guy's a piece of work. This guy's a jerk. Really,
he's an a-hole.
Yeah,
there we go.
He is.
We figured it out.
Oh my god.
I don't know. The Batman. We'll wait and see if we have anything more to say.
All you have to do is remind him. Robert Pattinson, as great of an actor as he was still in Twilight, dude. Like, you just wait till it comes out on streaming services or something.
But the spoilers.
Wait 2 days. Like,
I know
it's not that hard. It's been out for how long? I haven't heard any spoilers. Like, I don't know.
I really haven't. Yeah, I haven't heard any spoilers from it.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess I will be spoiling a superhero movie in our next segment where we're talking about the Oscars for Spider-Man No Way Home. But at this point, I haven't seen it. We all know it. But anyways, a week or two ago, Deadline reported that a surprising film was leading the Twitter campaign of the quote or hashtag. Whoa. See that?
Dave just lost his mic.
All right. Well, you see that move? Live on the podcast, my clip broke. He just shot my microphone into my computer. All right.
This will be an interesting one today.
Yeah, I guess should I just hold it, John? What are we doing?
Hold it a little further than you were because you're a little loud.
Okay. I'm gonna hold it here. Is that good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Testing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep this in live Twitch streams. You never know what's going to happen on Monday
Do it
night.
live.
All right. Well, as I was saying, there is a surprising film in the Oscars fan favorite lead up so far. It is not this Twitch stream, as exciting as it is. As much as the Academy and ABC wanted to be Spider-Man, it's Cinderella. Cue the James Corden, the GIF.
Yeah.
John, this is it. That's what it's from.
Yeah.
That viral marketing campaign worked. We got Cinderella in the lead right now for Oscars fan favorite. It could be going on Oscar night for Oscar glory. Oh, what the heck? What is going on? John, what are you doing, man? You way too much time on your hands. Way too much time.
Like 2 hours rotoscoping that.
We're going to get so much use out of it, but thank you. All right. Oh my God. This is off the rails tonight. Off the rails. All right here. Cinderella. Kyle, do you think this is the pick for Oscars fan favorite?
I mean, I hope it is, just so that it can become a running joke, because this is exactly what this little hashtag fake award, whatever they're creating from it. So I love the choice. Let's keep it going so that we can actually get humping James Corden in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the Academy did confirm that Cinderella is one of the top 10 choices right now. And they also gave us the list of the rest of them that are in contention. We have Army of the Dead, Cinderella, Dune, Malignant, Minamata, The Power of the Dog, Sing 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, The Suicide Squad, and Tick, Tick, Boom.
The Power of the Dog is in the top 6?
Well, I don't know if it's top 6. It's top 10.
It's just,
they're just alphabetical order. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the Oscar critics and fans are really pushing that film. I would love it if it would, just to be like, take that, Oscars. You know, this film has the most Oscar nominations this year. You're trying, obviously, to get Spider-Man to get a moment at the Oscars. Well, no. It's Power of the Dog.
Yeah.
Or it's Cinderella. Or this film, Minamata, which is actually it's a Johnny Depp indie film, but the diehard Twitter fans are posting about it. It's like, that's what you deal with the internet.
Yeah.
You know, you can't predict it. The internet will pick Bodie McBoatface or whatever.
Yeah. That'd be, yeah. Yeah, you can see what they're trying to do. And I said this last time, are we doing its PR campaign for it? You know,
Maybe.
It's ridiculous.
Meanwhile, John posted here, there's the ultimate cheer moment. That's another category. And we're down to just 5 for that.
Ooh.
So these are the top 5 ultimate cheer moments. We have the Spider-Man No Way Home big team up between 3 people. Or actually, that's the one here, because I'm getting confused with the Avengers Assemble moment from Avengers Endgame.
Oh my god.
We also have the Matrix's Neo dodging bullets, Dreamgirls, and I'm Telling You, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Flash Speed Force scene. What is this?
Yeah, I know. I'm asking, what is this too? It's just,
I thought it was going to be like 5 scenes or 5 moments from this year's films.
Yeah.
There's only one film from this year. Like, how is it these 5s? I can understand the Endgame moment. Obviously, The Matrix is a classic moment. But no disrespect to Dreamgirls, but really the top 5. Top 5. I'm surprised it's not all 5 superhero films from the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm shocked by this. These are the 5 scenes of all of movie history that are being up for this award.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Did they have a pre-vote on this, or is it just
it's just Twitter, baby?
Oh my gosh, dude. That's wild.
I love the gigantic hashtags too. They're 30 characters long.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
And then you also have to put Oscar's cheer moment. Hashtag Oscar. Oh my god. All right.
That's all your characters. You don't get to say anything about it.
That's it. That's it. That's your cheer moment. It's better left unsaid. It's a
But yeah,
tweet can
like-
last 1,000 words.
But like you said, I mean, any one of these could just get on a random thread and blow up, and then it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, that's where this came from. You know what I mean? So it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All this is showing us is like a case of I just don't know why the Oscars needs to do this. Like, what do they expect to get from this? I don't understand. Free PR. That's all they want. It's ridiculous.
That leads into our next thing here about how out of left field that they're trying any which way to get ratings for something like with ways that have there's no reason these are going to work. Not even close. Nobody, I'm talking about how they're cutting 8 categories. We mentioned it last week or in the last podcast. 8 categories from the main show. They're going to pre-tape them. They're probably going to be announced on social media because why wouldn't they be? I mean, so it won't be announced live within the show. It'll be in a tweet. Then they'll be edited down with the help of editors, even though the editing Oscar is being shown in the pre-tape. And then they'll be interwoven in the show, and supposedly you won't even know. But that will somehow get millions of people to tune in. Kyle, I want you to call up your dad and say, hey, Dad, they are moving the best makeup and hairstyle category to a pre-tape. Are you going to tune into the Oscars now?
For sure. Now
that's going to get them.
Yeah,
that's going to get them.
That's going to get me. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. And if I were them, I would be furious over, being like second-class citizen in what's supposed to be your craft. Yeah. You're supposed to be celebrated. These awards technically are for them. It's not for the viewers when you really think about it. These awards,
it's an industry award.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, and there's been so much outcry over the last few weeks. The Motion Picture Editors Guild and denounced the move. Steven Spielberg, I saw today, criticized it. A member of the Sound Branch is even considering resigning from the Academy and discusses unanimous anger that may lead to like a broad response. And I feel so bad for all of them, especially the sound category, because a couple years ago, they combined the sound mixing and sound editing into one award, Best Sound. And they were pretty much told, don't worry. I know a couple years ago, we tried to eliminate your category from the broadcast because you're being so gracious and making it into one category. We would never do that again. But they're doing that again here. So... fool me once.
But doesn't this might have just come back to bite the Oscars in the butt, but they were doing this last year or the year before where they were like throwing things out into the press, getting a vibe check basically on how people were reacting to it, and then they would backtrack.
Yeah, they have done that before, the popular Oscar. What's interesting though, they've done like everything that they're doing this year that people are complaining about is what they did a year ago or 3 years ago when they wanted to cut categories and they did all this and people cried out so much that they said, oh, we're not gonna do it. But now they're doing it again. And there's a quote from producer Will Packer, and he responded to the outcry and said, quote, nobody is going to be shortchanged by this decision to try to make the show more efficient, expedite, and make more people watch the show. I'm going to have every one of the nominees have a moment. All the nominees for all the categories will hear their names in that show. The winner will have their speech. You'll hear from them in the show. Most viewers will not be able to tell the difference. Then why are we doing it? If most people can't even tell the difference, then why are we doing it? To make room for another montage, for another Amy Schumer opening monologue joke? We don't need those.
So what I'm guessing the plan is that, like you said, they've already had them on stage do the speaking before. So then when they come up, they cut to the movie and then they're already talking underneath or something.
Probably something like that. Or they won't have to, we won't have to see him for 15 seconds.
Like walk up to the stage. Stairs, yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe don't sit them, in the balcony and make them actually sit somewhere close to the stage if they're presumed to be the winner. I don't know. That could save some time. But again, no, you got to make sure that the celebrities are there, camera ready, front and center. But it's just wild because like I even saw that like Danny Glover and Samuel L. Jackson, all these actors are getting honorary Oscars like a week or two before, but they're not going to show that. And it's like, well, wait, what are we doing here? Okay, it's, Samuel L. Jackson is in all these Marvel films. He's a, iconic movie performer.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to show his speech. Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Makes no sense, but
it doesn't. It really doesn't.
It looks like it could be ABC's fault. According to the Hollywood Reporter, ABC had warned the Academy that it would cancel the Oscars telecast via a clause in the Academy and ABC's broadcasting rights deal if 12 categories were not removed from the show. And then the compromise is where we're at now. So they compromised with these. But it's like, then maybe it's like, okay.
But who agreed to that? Who agreed to that?
I mean, it's whatever it was. It's like ABC, I guess, can like via some weird clause in the contract be like, okay, well, we're not going to telecast the show. And they want whatever the ad revenue and the money that ABC gives the Academy to air the Oscars. So,
but I mean, why would the Academy even agree to that if they?
I think it's just the money from ABC. Like, they need that for, like they get their money from airing the Oscars. But yeah, it's just wild. I saw this great tweet where it's like, quote, definitely keep chasing viewers who don't like the Oscars by alienating viewers who do like the Oscars. That's one way to really mess up the ratings, piss off the people that actually will want to watch the Oscars by trying to chase the non-existent person, that had no interest to begin with. Yeah.
I don't think the Oscars are for casual movie fans. That's not the point of the Oscars.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying that's the way it is currently.
It's never going to be the 50 million people that watched it when Titanic won or whatever it is. It's a different world with streaming services and with the fraction, audience. It's just different. It's never going to be that way again. We got to move on. We got to come up with something new. But let's see. I've been talking a little bit about Disney and ABC. I got another one here involving Hulu and Disney Plus, because I've been long theorizing and been saying that Hulu and Disney Plus may someday combine. And there was a bunch of stories this week that I think made me think it could be sooner rather than later. The first one, NBC Universal announced it's ended its content deal with Hulu starting in September. So while some older titles may still be licensed out, to have on Hulu, newer programs like SNL and The Voice will not be available the next day on Hulu, but instead will be only on Peacock. Because back in the day, Hulu was owned by all the different networks. And, now Disney has the majority stake. NBC is like, well, what are we doing here? We got our own streaming service to give programs for. So they're going to take out maybe their stake. And then once that happens, then Disney fully owns Hulu. And then why wouldn't they combine it with something else?
Yeah. I don't know. They could make like Hulu the more adult version or the adult stuff, maybe off brand of that. But I mean, here's what Disney has to think. Is it smarter to get it under the Disney brand, or is this like an offshoot where we can hold our more adult stuff, and then it looks like another choice for people when in reality all the money's coming back to us?
Or they could do that little like Showtime Paramount Plus thing where they didn't combine them, but on Paramount Plus you can add in Showtime. So I think Disney Plus has way more subscribers than Hulu. We can add in Hulu, for the parents if they want, because overseas Disney Plus has Star, as their little like icon, and that is all the Hulu FX programming is on Star. But
so with Hulu's live TV, that means Disney has to have some kind of live TV option, yeah?
I think so. What do you mean?
Because Hulu does like live TV. Hulu does. That would mean like YouTube TV, they have their own, but like that would be Disney's version of the live TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what they have now. And I don't know if like later on, if Disney Plus, if they do combine, they would add that in as an element. You would think they would. I mean, one of the things of live TV that's so popular, and the reason why a lot of people have live TV is sports, like ESPN, and Disney owns that.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned the adult programming. Hulu is gaining all those Ryan Murphy series that we're complaining about that were on Netflix, like American Crime Story and Pose. But Disney Plus is going to be gaining the Netflix Marvel series like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, The Punisher, all those series that they did before like the merger here. And this is, I get it, but also I don't get it. These are very violent adult shows.
Yeah.
They are not Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
So much so that Disney Plus is adding parental controls to the service to help parents so their kid doesn't choose The Punisher, after watching Monsters Inc. or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, so why then a few years ago, when the new Lizzie McGuire reboot was supposed to be on Disney Plus, they said, oh, it's too adult. We can't do this. And it's like, there's this Love Simon spinoff of Love Victor. The themes in the show, too adult, has to go to Hulu. It's like, so the themes of Love Victor really are more adult than the Punisher, beating the what out of somebody.
It's always been like that, dude. Sex is worse than, or anything like that is worse than violence. Violence does not matter. I mean, because
already, watching Mandalorian or all those Marvel shows, it's like, this is we're getting a little adult here. Some of the language and violence, but these are definitely a step above that. And this just makes me think again, just combine these, just put them together, do something here. Because it used to be Disney Plus is like, okay, that's kids. Okay, I got it. But between the Mandalorian or airing the Beatles documentary or this, it's like we're really blurring lines.
Yeah.
We're all over the place.
Yeah. But even I'm thinking not the one with what's his name there? Hiddleston.
Offerman. All right.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston. Is that his name?
Yeah. Loki.
I mean, that was adult-ish at times.
Yeah.
Not.
I think this Moon Knight one with Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke's going to be adult, and we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. But does Disney Plus have Deadpool on it?
That's a good question. I don't think they do.
But they own it, yeah.
They own it. That's probably the one on Hulu, if anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wait and see when the Deadpool spinoff TV show is auto playing after WandaVision. But
yeah.
All right. We're talking a lot about Hulu. We should talk about the show that they did drop this week, The Dropout. In order to talk about it, we have to go back. Send us back.
Back in time.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
The Dropout series premiere. I'm in a hurry. It dropped March 3rd. This dramatic miniseries is based on the podcast of the same name and stars Amanda Seyfried as the disgraced biotech entrepreneur Elizabeth Holmes, and it talks about the fall of Theranos, her company. All right, we all saw The Dropout. Let's start off with John. What did you think of The Dropout?
It was interesting. I mean, if you know this story in real life, it's a crazy one. With what managed to happen and how, I mean, not really a spoiler because they discuss it, and it's a real life event, but how this company managed to be nothing, and she got billions of dollars and all this stuff, and so it's an interesting story. I don't know if I quite see where this is heading yet. I think maybe one episode is not enough for me to see that. They kind of framed it in a flashback kind of frame, which I think was good because it gets you in on the hook. However, I don't think if you don't know about what happened, I don't think there was enough there to make you realize why they're flashing back. I think I would have liked that to be fleshed out a little bit more.
The stakes of why. Yeah, we're just seeing the deposition, and we're hearing a little bit about oh wait, what happened? Oh, your company was this. This pilot was definitely a a setup pilot, yada yadaing all the stuff pre Theranos. You know, the deposition, as we mentioned, there's like a gym class from when she was like, I don't know, 11, 2001, her dad losing the job. We're getting all the things of how she got to where she did, college, we're a lot of buildup, and you could see it almost. We were rushing through it, much like how she's rushing to be an adult. The title of the episode, I'm in a hurry, as you said. So it's like they set that up pretty well, and I'm waiting to see all the real meat and potatoes of this story when we do get to Theranos. But Kyle, what did you think of the Dropout?
I thought it was okay. I do like Amanda Seyfried as an actress, and I think she does a good job. But as someone said on Twitter, she can't really match the lifelessness of Elizabeth Holmes's eyes. Like, it's just dead inside. And so
there's a lot of emotion like behind the eyes, because she's a good actress. I will say, I think she has the voice. Definitely, you can tell like in the later scenes, she has it on stronger, just like how the real Elizabeth Holmes kind of put on this voice. So I think it's like a good, like, she kind of had it in the beginning and really is stronger later. I think she's doing a good job with that. But there's a lot of emotion behind those eyes.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know too much about this story. Like, I know a little bit about it, but not very much. So I was kind of just like hemming and hawing kind of through, because we really did rocket through this first episode. But I was like, what is there to make me keep going? Because she's not necessarily a likable character. And you can kind of see, it gave me almost Social Network vibes in the beginning.
I picked that up a little bit with the deposition.
Because we're dealing with a deposition. She's a college age individual for a bulk of the episode. So I like brought it back to that. It felt very, very familiar in that way. But overall, I thought it was okay. I really like her. I just am going to need to see a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it.
Yeah. I will say, and we talked a little bit about Amanda Seyfried. I am glad with this casting over who it could have been. I'm going to kind of rag on this actress in the next show we're going to be talking about. But originally, Kate McKinnon was supposed to be Elizabeth Holmes in this series. And then she dropped out because of scheduling issues with Joe versus Carole. And I think that worked out so much better, because it would have been a completely different show, a different genre, a different feel, different tone. Yeah. So to have a dramatic actress in this dramatic story, I think works so much better. As I think we really kind of lucked out with the casting of Amanda Seyfried here. And this story is wild, because I remember like watching this doc of the inventor, I think on HBO, I believe it was. And it is like a wild story, because you're watching this and you're like, it's wild how, because she isn't 100% a fraud. Yes, Theranos and the product she was making was bad, but she's smart. She knows a lot. Yeah. She was smart enough to get into a grad class at Stanford as a freshman. Smart enough to have her professor invest in a company. It's like she knows, a bit of what she's talking about. So it's just wild to see, like, like, how does that happen where somebody so smart can know what she's doing is wrong? Because a lot of times there's a lot of dumb people who think that they're the smartest people in the room and that they're just full of crap. But she's smart and is full of crap. What I mean? Yeah. But, one thing I hate about like these shows like this that always like talk about the future, mostly made me think of this thing in Pam and Tommy as an example of this like revisionist history of like, looking back on it compared to future now. A good example is in Pam and Tommy, where I saw in the last episode where it's like, hey, this coffee's from Seattle. It's called Starbucks. And someone's like, it'll never catch on. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. Okay, we get it. You're in 1996 or whatever it is. And there's a little bit of that in this where it's like, I want to discover something new. And it's like written in a letter. And she's like talking to all of her adult friends. I want to be a billionaire. It's like, oh, of course you do, Elizabeth. And, it's like all this like, Laurie Metcalf telling her, "You can't skip the steps. If you get anything wrong, they will destroy you." And it's just like the foreshadowing is like, we get it, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there's a couple of characters I want to also talk about in this. Naveen Andrews, who plays Sonny. This relationship is
what's going on here? Did this really happen?
I'm assuming it does. I'm assuming it does.
Yeah.
But when does he meet her? It's when she's like
college. Just like probably, right?
I think it was either early college or late high school with the trip to Beijing. Yeah. It's a little weird, but
Yeah. Definitely a big age difference here. And it's like this weird, relationship of older man, younger girl in this situation. And then we see, a few years later after this trip, at the end of this episode, the first episode, there's a bit of a romantic situation going on as well. And I'm really curious to see how this relationship plays out, over the next 7-8 episodes of this series.
Yeah.
It's an interesting situation because it's like, are we supposed to I don't know what to feel about him yet. This guy is he good or is he a villain? Yeah. It's hard to tell what the show wants us to think.
Yeah. And also it feels like because we're unsure about him, I'm unsure about the chemistry between them as well. So it just feels awkward. And maybe it's meant to be that way because it was awkward in those moments. Cause it's like, you have this young girl, maybe she wants this older guy, but it's just it's the whole thing just seems weird and off. So it makes me unsure about the relationship in general.
Yeah. Another guy we got in this show, William H. Macy, playing Richard here.
Yeah.
It looks like he's gonna have a big role. You don't cast William H. Macy and put that much makeup on him.
Yeah.
Just for a brief cameo. He's feeling slighted at the end, not getting a call about her dropping out and working on a similar invention. I don't know much about this story, but I'm curious. Is he going to be an adversary into this? I'm assuming so. If our other character of Sonny is going to be probably more of an associate.
Yeah.
But I'll be curious to see how that plays out with him. What do you think of Richard here?
Well, I think William H. Macy goes right into the role, man, because it looks like when he's angry, it looks, he doesn't look like William H. Macy, it's there. But what I'm so curious about is he feels slighted, but when what's her name's father's asking him for money, they don't seem that close to begin with. It didn't seem that close. I don't know.
Well, it did say it was her father's wife's friend's husband. You know what I mean? So I could see how maybe they're
separation.
Yeah, maybe they're not super close because it's the once removed from the friends. But I agree. It was kind of a little awkward, which I think it was supposed to be. But
there was a lot of awkward in this episode, and that's probably who the characters are. But I gotta ask, are we going to be watching more of the Dropout?
See, this is the decision that's hard for me. I'm interested, but I didn't necessarily love it to keep watching it. I might wait a little while, see what happens, and then continue with it. But there's other stuff coming out that I'm interested in.
So much.
Maybe this is a back burner one for me.
Yeah, see, I feel like John's the same way.
Yeah. There's so much stuff coming out in the next 3 months that I already have stuff from last year I'm still trying to catch up on. So unless I always say this, unless I hear something crazy about it, I kind of already know what happened in real life. It wasn't a great story. Not that it wasn't a great story, but it didn't have a good ending, kind of. So
I might do at least one or two more just to see, because now we kind of set the table with everything in this first episode. Maybe now we'll get to the good stuff, if you will.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it picks up in future episodes. Our next series is another true crime type series, Joe versus Carole, the series premiere, Unwanted Animals. Also March 3rd. This one was on Peacock. This drama limited series is based on the Over My Dead Body podcast's second season, and it follows the criminal case of Joe Exotic, who we all saw convicted of murder for hire in 2020's Tiger King on Netflix. All right, we mentioned it in a coming attraction a few weeks ago. We saw the trailer, we talked about that, and then we said that kind of feels like an SNL skit. It doesn't feel, right. But I gotta ask you, now that you've seen the pilot, Kyle, what did you think of Joe versus Carole?
It still seems so unnecessary, but I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. It's fine. I mean, John Cameron Mitchell as Joe Exotic turned out to be fine, and I actually liked his portrayal more than I did Kate McKinnon's, because Kate McKinnon is Kate McKinnon. It doesn't. There's just no difference to me. But with John Cameron Mitchell, it looks like he's actually into the character. I don't know. There's parts of this show that make me roll my eyes. There's parts of the show where it goes against tone by having these weird comedic bits. It's like, what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be a drama? Do you want it to be a comedy? Well, like, we know these people are quirky characters. They're quirky in themselves. Why do you have to do more to them? With these little weird back and forths that seem to stall progression of the storyline. And I don't have any examples offhand, but I remember several times where it was like that. So with all that said, there was like not fondness, but I guess it was okay looking back on it through a fictional lens, but it's just okay. It's it is what it is.
Yeah, this one just didn't work for me. Maybe it's like what we've talked about. Maybe we all saw it 2 years ago, and it's like you can't top crazy. You can't capture lightning in a bottle twice unless there's some huge development that the Tiger King series didn't show the first time.
Yeah,
which I'd be surprised, because we know everything that happened, all the follow-up articles and all the news updates. It's like we saw it already. We know the big moments and twists. So unless you're going to straight up make up things, like, what's the thing that's going to make us, whoa, that happened? It's like, unless you haven't, we're in a coma and you didn't see Tiger King, maybe this will work. But then again, we got this disclaimer. While based on real events, parts have been fictionalized solely for dramatic purposes and are not intended to reflect on any actual person or entity. It's like, does that mean they can just make crap up? Like, they can be like, all right, well, let's add in some extra craziness, because it's like not intended to reflect on any actual person. What are you talking about? This is who's Carole Baskin then? Why are you using that name if it's not a real person?
Yeah.
But one of my biggest things, and before I get to my other rant, is I just don't understand, like, why now? Why are we telling the story now, other than, of course, money, to capitalize on?
Well, they wanted to be the first ones to do it, right? Because aren't there two others in development or something?
I don't know if, there was a bunch of development. I think a lot of them kind of like fell apart because it's been, 2 years too late to capitalize on the momentum of that. I just think it's late, but it's also early. It's like a show like Pam and Tommy, it has the stuff about the tape, but it's also like getting into like the treatment of Pam and women from that time, and how the tape leaking is actually
it's a different generation.
So
it's a generation. It's a generational look at society.
Yeah, People versus OJ looked at the case through the lens of race, but it's like, what is this looking at other than, hey, these two, they're pretty crazy?
Yeah,
like, we know we've been there.
I
realize I've been going on and on. I gotta ask John, what did you think of Joe versus Carole?
I'm in a similar boat to Kyle, but I think I'm a couple rungs down the ladder. I didn't really enjoy it. It was the same thing, just worse, kind of, like, I mean, what happened in that episode that didn't happen in the other show? Except now it's instead of Carole Baskin, it's Kate McKinnon. Like, I can't separate them. She's just herself, and I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I haven't done a in-depth study on Carole Baskin, but it didn't seem like she was the kind to make those kind of jokes about, you know,
No.
like, so why are we adding them? Like, I don't get it. Is that the difference they're trying to make, is just turn it into a comedy? But then it's not like that all the time. So what's the,
Yeah, it's billed as a drama, and I had the exact same thought of you, John, with the comedy. I'm like, this is over the top. The stuff we saw in Tiger King of Carole Baskin is not like this at all.
no.
So I don't know what
Mhm.
she's doing. I mean, her eyes are, like bugging out at different points. They're over the top. There was one point where she's like hiding into her jacket, I guess for allergies, but it's just like, what? No human does this, what
Yeah.
you're doing in real life. It's just, it's over the top. I think one of the jokes, that they kind of they threw in something about like the confusion over muting her phone. And it's just like, what are we doing here? This is
Mhm.
like CBS sitcom. Oh, old person can't
Yeah.
figure out phone. It's just, what? I don't know. I just thought it was a miscast across the board with this. I think it was one of those things where it says, oh, this looks good. Oh, on paper. Kate
Mhm.
McKinnon, Carole Baskin, this will be something. It just doesn't work on execution. And as I agree with you, Kyle, I think John Cameron Mitchell is fine. He's a good Joe. I didn't
Mhm.
have too much expectations with him because I'm not familiar that much with his work. But every time I just see Carole Baskin, I feel like I'm watching SNL. I just feel like it's over the top. It just does. It pulls me right out.
Now, I don't know if it was just me, but did you feel like this was a very like pro Baskins look? It felt very on her side, didn't it? Or was it just my imagination?
I'd say it was, for me, like 70-30, 70 for,
That's what
bad Joe, and like,
Yeah.
because there was points where I feel like, with Carole Baskin, it's like they talk about like kind of her messed up volunteer cult
Yeah.
system, and then there's she's pretty much swindling someone trying to swindle her into
Mhm.
buying a rare exotic animal, and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, she's not perfect. I mean,
No.
Joe looks real bad in this, and
Yeah.
from what we've heard after Tiger King, that's probably more accurate with who he is. But yeah, it is interesting, like the tone of what we're trying to say about these
Yeah.
characters in this version versus the other.
Yeah.
See, another nitpick I had, which kind of goes with what I was saying in the last nitpick in the other show, was like, there's the scene where she's at her computer to about do her first webcam, and we all know what she's going to say, hey, all you
Yeah.
cool cats and kittens, but we're subjected to seeing her do all the bad improv attempts of figuring out,
Yeah.
hi, all you cats, no, hey, all you tigers, and and it's like just going through, and I'm sure it was just like Kate McKinnon's like, all right, just give us 10, just go through, and it's just like, all right, we know what the line is, just what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
because I'm sure that's not how it really happened.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the part of
sure
that was
not. Yeah.
fictionalized for dramatic intent. Like, okay, but we're really in this weird time with all these true crime series. Like, we're in a wave of these. We talked about Dropout. We got this one. There's the Inventing Anna. And we have
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 more to come. There's like The Girl from Plainview, We Crashed, Super Pumped. There's just like, I don't know what it is in the water right now in Hollywood, but it's just every single Firefest type
Yeah.
con. We're gonna do a show about it.
Maybe it says more about our society that
Yeah.
all these con men are like elevated to star status. It
Maybe.
started with what's his name there?
I don't know. Nick
The
Offerman.
no no Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall
Jordan
Street.
Belfort.
Yeah.
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 Oh man. All right. You know what? I didn't plan this. I didn't plan this with the con men type thing. This is what I know of a quick check that Kyle might do in order to. Do we have time? I think we do. Let's do a quick check. Yes, here we are. We're starting off with Kyle. Righteous Gemstone season 2 finale. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so this season of Righteous Gemstones, I liked a lot. I think I might have liked it better than the first season. We get the addition of Eric Andre. I'm a big Eric Andre fan. And so we see a little bit more the dad and kind of his backstory, which was interesting. We got a little bit more there, so I enjoyed watching that. There's I don't want to give away any spoilers because I know John hasn't
Sorry.
watched, but you know, I think each character's storyline had some really, really great moments, and there's not one storyline where I was like, man, this stinks. I think all of them were pretty equal and all had their really, really great moments. So I enjoyed season 2. I highly recommend this show. I wasn't like all in with season 1, but after watching it, I really enjoy it, and I think season 2 is even better.
Yeah, I might have to get into it. I remember watching the first few of season 1, and it just wasn't connecting, and something just felt off. And I don't know. Season 2, I've been hearing good things. I definitely also hear like a little bit of like a Succession kind of vibe, even just like character wise. I mean, you have the father, you have the 3 kids. You know, it's like, oh, you can almost see parallels between each of the characters of that and Succession. But I don't know. I might have to check it out. John, you've been watching, right? Or at least some
I
of it?
watched the first season. I haven't started the second season yet, but I'm excited to, because like Kyle was saying, it was good in the first season, and I've been hearing good things about season 2. I just gotta. I've been watching with somebody. I gotta coordinate getting us all up to speed. You know, that's the tough
part.
thing about watching with people. But
All right. Well, that's Kyle's quick check. And John, you have a quick check. Another HBO show. Another season 2 finale. What is it?
Euphoria. I shotgunned both season 1 and season 2 of this since our last show 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you're a regular Roo, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a trip, man. I mean, you know, I'm not going to be able to separate season 1 from season 2 because I saw them so quick. But man, there were points where people are driving drunk and I was not happy. I regardless of whether I liked them or not, like I did not feel comfortable watching it.
Yeah.
There was some crazy stuff. You know, with spoilers, I guess, for season 2. The play at the end was out of this world.
The
Crazy.
multi-million-dollar play.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about that. That is ridiculous.
It was so good though.
Okay, let's just think about it. Like put yourself in that auditorium. Lexi somehow got this like $1 million thing to throw this play together.
Approved in the first place.
Yeah. And it's like only about her and her like 5 friends. Any other parent in that theater is like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Who are these people? How come you don't have a play about your friends on stage?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting through this of 4 kids I don't even know.
And mind you, spoiler alert, everything that happens during the play, where are the teachers?
Yeah.
Where is the principal? There's no way the second half of that.
Where are any of the adults in the Euphoria
that
world?
parallels the whole series. How are these kids doing these things? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed all of it. I think for me, the ending of season 2, the very end of the season, was a little bit of a low point. I think they really peaked at this show, and you know, the events that were happening to other people while the show was happening, and then we kind of go back to like a normal state at the end, and it was a little bit weird. I didn't feel the punch of a season end because it happened halfway through the episode. You know what I mean? So that was a little disappointing, but overall, I've been really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to see some more of it in the future.
Yeah, for me, I feel like this season wasn't as strong as season 1. I think the show is you know, visually just, you know, there's so many great cinematography in this show, and the acting is great, especially from Zendaya. But it's not much of the stories. The script isn't sometimes fully there for me. And for like Zendaya, I hope next season, I know, you know, it's addiction, but I hope they give her more than just Rue's on drugs. That's your storyline for the season. And like we get so much of it. And you know, like the Maddie, Nate, Cassie, it's just the love triangle. It's the teenage. Sure, there's, you know, maybe the HBO version of that, but it's a classic love triangle that we've seen on every, you know, teen drama. And it's just, you know, if you look back on the season, I don't know how much like forward momentum we did with some of the storylines. I mean, for instance, Kat got zero screen time,
Yeah.
completely absent
Yeah.
when she was a big player in the first season.
Uh-huh.
Some believe on the internet it's because there's, I guess, a possible feud between her and the creator of the show, and that's not the only issue he faced. I saw this report from the Hollywood Reporter. They talked about this story from the Daily Beast about, quote, a toxic production of Euphoria, the long 18-hour days without meals and bathroom breaks for a lot of people, last-minute script changes. I guess, spoiler, that Fezco was the one supposed to die in the raid at the end, but it looked like at the very last minute they switched it to Ash. 4 actresses pushed back on the excessive and explicit nude scenes that they were asked to do. So a lot of stuff, a lot of drama behind the scenes and also in front of the scenes on Euphoria.
And again, you have to remember that this is a show about teens.
Yep.
And
High
then
schoolers.
you're listen to the last thing that you had to say, like push back on nudity surrounding it. It's like, dude, this is wild. Like, I know like art is different over certain periods of time, but you do have to remember they are supposed to be portraying children. So yeah.
I mean, I'll be watching. It's definitely one of those shows where it's like, wait, what's happening? It's just know, again, like I said, the story sometimes is a little iffy, but like I'm still with the popcorn, like, whoa, what was that?
Because the production is really good.
Yeah.
All right, I got a quick check. Another finale. I think we've seen this one as well. The After Party, season 1 finale. I'm gonna spoil it, so see you next week if you don't want to know what's going on with the After Party. Okay, here we go. Ben Schwartz. It was Jesper all along here. He was the killer. And I got to ask you, Kyle, are you happy with that reveal?
I mean, yeah, I found it entertaining and interesting. And I like the way they did it. I like the way they told the story. And everything else just seemed like a red herring. So you knew it had to come from somebody that hasn't gotten looked at very closely yet.
Yeah, and his episode was so like fun and upbeat. Like that was probably my favorite episode, was his musical episode of all the bunch, because each episode in this series is like a different genre, and whether it's animation or rom-com or whatever it is. And looking back on it, there was always like a little suspicion. I mean, obviously everyone had a little suspicion, but there's always points where it's like, there was big clues, like, he is the IT guy. He knows this place inside and out, where the cameras are and this and that. Doesn't seem that upset that his oldest friend died. He's kind of whatever, still having a good time at the party. So there's all those clues there. I will say there was this theory I had maybe in the first 2 or 3 episodes, even though they almost made it like too, not obvious with Nate, but like too much of a red herring with Nate, the one everyone forgot the names of. But for me, the opening credits, this was my personal theory, that they kind of like revealed who the person was in the opening credits, and it was going to be at the end of the show. They're going to be like, we told you all along, the clues were there, because each like corresponded to their character. So you're watching it and it starts off and the police are coming up and they show Tiffany Haddish, and then there's like Ben Schwartz on the piano. He had a musical episode. Like each one like had a different thing. Dave Franco was the victim, and like right before they showed the victim, there was somebody that like burst through the door, and it was on the same card as the actor who plays Walt. I'm like, oh, that could be like each person has their, like Barinholtz is in the car running down, the action film. I'm like, oh, that'd be an interesting thing where it's like, oh, it was, they show Nate, they show Dave Franco, the names are in that order for a reason. It's not, so, but of course that wasn't it. After like 2 or 3 episodes, I'm like, no, it's too obvious that like Nate is just like this, weirdo. Like it has to be someone that's, it's not going to be Sam Richardson's character. It's not going to be like Barinholtz. It has to be like one of the other side characters. But I do have to ask you, are you guys interested in a season 2? Because it was renewed for a second season last week, but it's going to do kind of the Knives Out approach, where Tiffany Haddish is the one coming back. It's going to be a new cast, a new case.
I was going to ask. I think I would like it with the new cast.
Yeah.
because I think they do a good job. I like the way they told the stories. That was very interesting. I thought it was well thought out. And the mystery was there. I mean, you could try and solve it along the way as well. But yeah, I enjoy it. And there was a lot of funny moments.
Yeah.
So there was that too. So I enjoyed it.
I still only saw the first episode, but she was.
Sorry, I spoiled it.
No, it's okay. I don't know if I don't really plan on watching the rest of it.
No.
I thought she was the weakest link to me, to be honest. So without
There's
seeing
points,
the rest,
yeah.
I'm making a snap judgment on the first episode. But without seeing the rest, I feel like I would want all new everyone. But who knows? Like I said, I haven't seen the rest of the season, so I can't really make a super informed judgment.
There's definitely points where it's like, oh, that's Tiffany Haddish. She's doing the Tiffany Haddish thing, pulls me out a little bit, but she grew on me as the show went on.
Okay.
And she has some good moments later on in the later episodes.
Yeah. But all right, that is the after party. That is all our quick checks. That is all we got for this week. Let's see here. Next week, we're going to be back talking about Winning Time on HBO. And then we have The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. I believe that's what it is there with Samuel L. Jackson, Apple TV Plus. Kind of a interesting, not really sci-fi, but you'll see. I read the synopsis and it seems like an interesting show to talk about. And that's next week. 2 weeks from now, hopefully, will be our Oscar predictions with the good, the bad, and the watchable. So bookmark that. And make sure when you bookmark it, you circle Mondays, because we are on Mondays now on Twitch. We moved from Tuesdays. We're going to do Mondays for the foreseeable future. 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Dual Redundancy. You can find episodes of the podcast. If you can't see us live on Twitch, you can find them on YouTube, youtube.com/Dual Redundancy, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com. Episodes are there. And of course, you can follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram @Dual Redundancy. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight. For John for directing the show, getting it up on Apple Podcasts, for doing whatever edits you're going to have to do with my microphone exploding.
What an episode, man.
Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.